afternoon, football fans, and welcome to Championship Friday. Second game on our schedule today is the AAA Toronto Bowl Senior High School Championship presented by the Toronto Argonauts. This game features the Northern Red Knights as they take on the Brebeuf College Bulls. Game time is approximately 15 minutes away. The organizing committee would like to thank all of our sponsors today: the Royal Canadian Legion, the University of Toronto, Football Toronto, the NFL, the Toronto Argonauts, Area 51 Sports, York University, CIUT-FM, and the Canadian Armed Forces.
Don't let that go into camera too, in case they play copyrighted music or on YouTube. You know that.
Yeah. He's got a record on his camera. One up from last year.
The best part of where I should from the game. That I can help. But I think you can go I guess if I'm not in the news, I'll go down to clear.
I'm confused. 2 is the wide shot, or okay, so yeah, you see that shooting straight angle. Okay, I can cheat it a bit. Yeah, yeah, because it's going to stay wide like this, so may as well kind of that lock it there. Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Yeah, it looks a little down on the right though. Let me just see. I mean, I'm going on the white line at the bottom. You see here. I mean, the problem is the roof at the top of the building is slightly out. If the bottom line, yeah. So you see, like, if I know that's the thing. So, I mean, I can go a little tighter just to try and not, yeah, yeah. See, that's the thing. I mean, we go on the roof level, that's fine. Obviously, the lines are going to be slightly out, which is fine. That's natural for football. So, it's just if I cheat it too much and the roof goes out again. So, I'd rather kind of have the roof there. That should be good there. Okay, so we're good there. So we'll lock it.
Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to the AAA Toronto Bowl Senior High School Championship presented by the Toronto Argonauts. This game features the Brebeuf College Bulls taking on the Northern Red Knights. At this time, we ask you to draw your attention to center field as we welcome the Royal Canadian Legion Branch number 10 color guard under the direction of Regimental Sergeant Major Ruben Chung. Fans, at this time, we'd ask that you please rise as you are able and join East York CI Anthem Singer as she performs the national anthem. We now turn our opening ceremonies over to head referee Henry Chu.
At this time, I'd ask for both teams to come to center field for the coin toss. Coin toss will be Justin Pottinger for the Argos.
And hi, everybody. Welcome to Varsity Stadium here in downtown Toronto as we get set for the opening kickoff with the Football Toronto Senior Bowl Championship. Dana McKeel alongside Dan Domenico as we bring you all the action here from Varsity Stadium, the historic stadium at that. Dan, today's matchup featuring the Northern Red Knights coming in against the Brebeuf College Bulls. Your thoughts on this matchup?
I think this game is going to be about who can impose their will on defense, especially for Brebeuf. Last week they handled Michael Power very handily, but Michael Power didn't really have a passing offense, and they completely shut down their run game, and they turned that into a relatively easy victory. Against Northern, it's going to be a completely different kettle of fish, whereas Northern throws the ball very well. Now, Brebeuf is big and strong, and they have some speed, and so it's going to be interesting to see whether they can put enough pressure on for example, Riley Chalmers, the quarterback from Northern, who passes the ball very well, and they have quite a dynamic offense when they get going.
Brebeuf Bulls coming in at 4-1. Northern Red Knights at 5-1. There was previous interaction between these two squads with Brebeuf losing to Northern first game of the season 28-7. Here's the opening kickoff, and Northern will take possession of the ball. Will Sievert on the return for the Northern Red Knights. He'll go out at the 28-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Northern.
And like you mentioned, Northern did, especially in the second half, they were able to handily defeat Brebeuf, but that was the very first game of the season for them, and and a lot can happen. And really, what high school football is about is not how you start, but how much do you improve as the year goes on. And both these teams clearly deserve to be where they are here right now.
The officials for this matchup, the referee Henry Chu, the umpire Dave Kersinger, the back umpire Brown Schouten, the line judge, the legendary Bob Pawlowski, and the head linesman Jack Vanek. We only go with the best here on YouTube as we're simulcast on CIUT Radio 89.5 FM. Northern looking to go with the long distance pass. Dan, it was intended for number 3, Miguel Collado, just not there.
Yeah, they threatened to line up in a quad formation on the one side, and then they sort of returned it back to their spread. And they were looking to throw the corner route, but the receiver really didn't get out there in time. And the one thing I think they have to be careful of, they're going to play what's called a cover 3, and they get their people pretty deep. I think they're going to have to throw the ball underneath, or it's going to hit the ball in the seams.
Northern Red Knight quarterback Riley Chalmers, 6'1", 190 pounds. He's a senior in the lineup for the Red Knights. As they spread it out, they got 5 receivers coming off the line. They're going to go with the short pass, and it's caught. This is Lucas Pretek, the running back, coming out of the backfield to make the catch, and he'll go out at about the 40-yard line. And Dan, that's a first down.
First down, and on second down and long, they switched to a cover 2, but they called that was a perfect call there. They threw to the back coming out of the backfield, and he was able to pick up the first down yardage.
1st and 10 for the Red Knights. They're going to run this one. They're going to go right up the gut on the play. And they'll get about 5 yards, but the Brebeuf College Bulls defensive line shut that one down right there at about the 45-yard line.
Well, one thing Northern is going to have to do is establish some running game, because, and even though they're going up against a big, strong line, it's very difficult to try to play an entire game with just using the pass.
Riley Chalmers looking for the open receiver, and it's caught. That was a nice catch by Miguel Collado, and what was going to be a ball that could hit the turf. Collado showing that he's got some athleticism.
Well, he was looking for the man doing the corner and the deep route, but he found his safety valve, and it was enough for a first down. It was a great catch that time by Miguel.
Here come the Northern Red Knights as we've got a flag on the play. They're going to drive this one up the gut. Gain of about 4 on the play.
Well, that was Lucas Pretek, who's their running back, and he's coming off of a bad ankle. So what's really going to be important to see as the game goes on, how strong that ankle is, and whether they're going to be able to keep on using him in situations like this. Because if he can pick up 4 or 5 yards on first down or when they need him, that's really going to open up some of the passing lanes for their offense.
Looking at the Northern offense. That with Etobicoke, that was a victory back in the early part of the season, along with Richview twice, including the TDSSAA semifinal, and then that outstanding game last week. That was an overtime victory over Western Tech Colts, 36-35 for the TDSSAA final. So they're coming in here on quite a high after that overtime victory last week.
Well, they had a legal procedure on that, so they're back to 1st and 15.
Fake on the handoff. They're going to go with the pass, and it just did not connect with Lucas Pretek, the intended receiver on the play.
Well, they just are trying to set up a screen that time to Lucas, who came out of the backfield, and the pass was just off a little bit. But I think that, that was a good call. They're going to have to mix it up a little bit. They can't just keep on throwing the long ball, and they just can't keep on going sideways, because this is a defense that is pretty quick and has the ability to cover those passes.
Offensively, Northern Red Knights at 23.5 points per game. Defensively at 14.7. We're in shotgun. We got another flag on the play. Riley Chalmers with the pass, and it's good.
Well, if it's complete, it's still going to be short of first down. We need to see what the flag is here, though.
Will Sievert was the receiver on the play. Good coverage by the Brebeuf College Bulls, whose head coach has done a phenomenal job this year in preparing the team. That's Tim Hughes. He's a community coach, assisted alongside Chris Bailey, the teacher coach.
Yes, and it appears as though this was going to be another illegal procedure, or I should say offside by the Northern team. They're going to clearly decline that, because now it's going to be 3rd down, and it looks like they're going to have to punt.
Well, Dan, that Northern team has got quite a history to them, and that includes 2 Metro Bowls, which you were a part of as a head coach and former head coach of the Red Knights. Back in 1990, you defeated Markham 14-11, and 1994, you defeated Sarnia St. Patrick 30-21. This is a high kick up in the air, and it'll bounce and it'll go backwards, and Brebeuf looking to recover it right at midfield. A no yards call on the play, as we've got flags all over the place. Legendary Henry Chu, the referee on the play.
Yeah. Well, thank you letting everybody know how old I am. I appreciate that. That was, but that time you can see the wind is pretty strong, and in this case, In this case, the kick didn't go very far, and it took a really good bounce for Brebeuf. So Brebeuf is going to have exceptional field position right here off the first after their first defensive stand.
9:26 and counting here in the first quarter of play. Dana McKeel, Dan Domenico on YouTube, CIUT Radio 89.5 FM simulcast from Varsity Stadium in downtown Toronto. And the Brebeuf College Bulls with a 4-1 record. They average offensively 15.75 points per game, while defensively at 12.75.
Well, you can see their quarterback, Dallas Nitzis. I mean, he's 230 pounds. He's quite a load himself.
The big boy in the lineup for the Brebeuf College Bulls. They'll move the ball to about the 53-yard line of the Northern Red Knights. Minimal gain on the carry, on the play.
And for Brebeuf to do well in this game, okay, the combination there of Dallas handing off to Miguel Sanchez, the running back, is going to have to work. They don't have quite the same, competency in the passing game as Northern has. But again, they're big and strong, and if they can grind Northern down, this is where they're going to be. This is where I think they have an opportunity to put points on the board.
And here's a good look at the Brebeuf College Bulls as we've got motion in the backfield. They're in shotgun. Brebeuf looking to go with the pass, a left-handed pass from Dallas Nitzis, and this receiver is looking to take it long distance. This is Miguel Sanchez, the running back who came out to make the catch, and Dan, he's electrifying in the lineup for the Brebeuf College Bulls.
Well, that was a really nifty play. I mean, it was really a double screen. They threatened the swing pass over to the wide side of the field, and they came back with the short little screen to the running back, Sanchez, as you said. We've got a flag on the field, though, and we have to see what the call is.
This Toronto Senior Bowl Championship brought to you by Football Toronto and the Toronto Argonauts. And certainly looking at the Brebeuf College Bulls with victories over St. Michael's, Michael Power, and Chaminade. They also had that championship game last week against Michael Power to advance to today's championship game here at Varsity Stadium. Yeah. The winner will move on to play in the 39th Metro Bowl next week at York University here in Toronto.
Now, it looks as though, as what happened, was the penalty was against for blocking from behind to Brebeuf, but it was after they had acquired the first down, so they just took the yardage off the point of a point where the penalty occurred.
That was a low snap. Dallas Nitzis looking to take it himself. Northern defense reacts very quickly. On the tackle was number 55, Ethan Kay.
Yeah, no, he bobbled the ball there, and that clearly threw the timing off, and so the quarterback had to try to make whatever he could out of that. Second and long, it'll be interesting. This is the type of situation I think they have to try to avoid. I don't think they have the same sort of quick strike ability that Northern has on second and long.
Here's Dallas Nitzis again in shotgun. Three receivers off the right side. And he's looking long distance. He goes with the pass. It's caught. Beautiful catch. As Brebeuf College Bulls are right close to getting a first down. I think they're about a yard off the mark.
No, that was a great pass that time by Dallas Nitzis, and you're absolutely right. I think they're going to be third and short.
And it looks to be about they could be just inches off the. They're going to measure this one out, Dan. It's very close.
Well, I think this is, for Brebeuf, this is sort of a different situation. Like last week when they played Michael Power had two running backs the entire time, and they only had four receivers. And Michael Power, I think, threw the ball once the entire game, and that was picked off. It was a sort of a different game where they were able to control the game, and they used primarily their running offense to score points against Michael Power. In this game, we're going to see, as I said before, can their defense hold the Northern offense, and can they grind out the points and to keep them in front and put the pressure on Northern to try to score.
Well, they just measured this one off. The ball currently is placed at the Northern 44-yard line. Brebeuf College Bulls come up to the line, and we're going to see what's happening. 6:55 left here in the first quarter of play. It's a third down situation for the Bulls. Dallas Nitz is lined up right behind center.
Well, they've got a 230-pound quarterback, and he needs inches, and you can see they're just going to try to do the rambling wreck there and get the couple of yards the couple of inches that they need, and it appears they got it.
And that's a first down for the Brebeuf College Bulls. The principal is James Tanchez. The school was founded in 1963, 700 students, and certainly emphasis on the advanced placement program and the STEAM program, Dan. They've also had notable alumni, including Mike Murphy, who's current vice president of the NHL, Larry Utek, a CFL player and legendary St. Mary's University head coach, and Kevin Sullivan, a famed film director for TV series like Anne of Green Gables and Road to Avonlea. Quite a background there. Here's the Brebeuf College Bulls. They've got first down, and they hand off, looking to go off tackle, but the Northern Red Knights defense stepped up on the play, Dan.
And again, I think I really feel as though are they going to be able to grind Northern down and can they impose their will against the offensive line? If they can't, I don't think they're going to be able to pass their way to a victory here.
That's a big offensive line for Brebeuf. We saw the makings of that last year as they qualified for the playoffs. This year, a lot more emphasis on line play, both offense and defense, and certainly it's paid off with them appearing here in this championship game, this bowl game.
Well, like I said, they have 2 or 3 boys that are almost 300 pounds, so like I said, they certainly have a weight advantage.
Looking to go with a pass, and that just did not work, Dan. It was intended for number 20, Miguel Sanchez. No doubt he's a key part of the offense for the Brebeuf College Bulls.
Well, again, they just tried to swing the running back out of the backfield there on 2nd and long. I think, if they cannot get more yardage on first down, especially off their run, I don't know if they have the downfield passing attack to be able to pick it up. So that's why they went to something like the swing pass, hopefully put the ball in the hands of Sanchez, who is a very good running back, and hopefully he could make something out of it.
Third down for the Bulls here in the opening quarter of this Toronto Senior Bowl championship. On the punt, there's the kick, and it'll bounce at the Northern 15. Here's the return, and the returner bobbles it, and it goes out of bounds. That was Miguel Collado, one of the captains.
Yeah, he's going to get a single point out of this, so he's put a point on the board, but they do have the win, and it's important. So far, they haven't scored. It's in these type of games, especially if it's close. As the game goes on, having the wind at your back is going to make a difference in terms of the kicking game, especially if both teams are playing well on defense, and it starts becoming sort of a battle of attrition and field position.
Dan, very windy day here at Varsity Stadium, but the weather's holding up in terms of temperature at about 14 Celsius. It will have some impact on the game here today.
Just the fact you said 14 Celsius. I mean, let's face it, for November, this is fantastic weather.
Yeah, it sure is. Looking to go with the hitch, and the Northern hits it with Will Sievert, and he goes out of bounds on a tackle by number 27, Nick Daniel, the defensive back for the Bulls.
Yeah, great tackle there, but Northern picked up about 5 or 6 yards in that, and so again, you can see Northern is going to be the type of team that's going to lead with the pass, and then they're going to run afterwards. And again, it really depends on how healthy Lucas Pretak is with it. Like I said, he's had a bad ankle, and we're going to see whether he's going to be able to take the load for the entire game.
Second down situation for the Northern Red Knights. They're looking to go to the air, and it's caught. Beautiful catch. Slotback coming out of his position to make the catch.
It'll be interesting to see where he places the ball. This is going to be really close. It's either going to be first down or could be just short by inches.
Noah McKenzie on the reception for the Northern Red Knights. Pretty happy guy out there. Very inspirational guy for the Northern Red Knights. Third and short. Riley Chalmers at the helm for the Northern Red Knights, and he's going to take it himself and drive the ball for a first down. Dan, the Northern Red Knights, founded in 1930. They've got 2,000 students as the student population seems to grow. And the principal is Adam Marshall. And Adam has been very supportive of Northern Red Knights football since the time he walked through the doors. Chalmers looking to go with the hitch, and he does. Again, looking to Will Sievert on the play. Sievert with good acceleration, and he goes out of bounds just past the 50-yard line.
They've been able to take advantage of the hitch passes, but I don't think they're going to be able to make a living at this game because, as I said, they have some speed. Brebeuf has some speed getting out to the sidelines, and they're going to eventually have to start throwing the ball down the field. And they have done that so far in their short passes. It just, in high school, it's really hard to move the ball 5, 6, 7 yards at a time down the field without making a mistake.
Riley Chalmers in shotgun. He's rolling out to his right, and he's looking for the pass, and it's caught.
Oh,
this is
no.
Miguel Collado. And no, he dropped the ball.
Now he had, you know what, that was really set up well. That was a rollout pass, and Miguel did a little out and then down, and he was wide open, and like you said, I think he just took his eye off the ball because he was looking downfield to maybe elude the one last tackler and try to score the touchdown. But that was set up very well, and it really should have been, a big gain.
So the punt team comes out on the field for the Northern Red Knights. And Dan, we've got a kicker for Northern that stands about 6'6", and he's got a big leg.
When he's on, he's as good as any kicker probably at high school in the country, but he just suffers from a little bit of inconsistency, but he's also still a pretty young kid.
It's Johnny Musson, and he is 6 feet 8 inches tall as a kicker, and that's a big kick, and the return comes out to the 40-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Brebeuf College Bulls.
I mean, when he has the wind, literally he has almost a pro-style length, when he's on. Like 55 yards and in shouldn't be a problem from him. But again, just the inconsistency. I mean, still a high school player. It takes a lot of effort and time to really develop sort of the consistency of a kicker.
Here's Dallas Nitzis, and Nitzis in shotgun formation. He's got 4 receivers coming off the line. They go with a short pass in the backfield, and it's caught as the Brebeuf receiver goes down. That was number 80 on the play, Aaron McNish, and Aaron McNish is able to get them out to the Brebeuf 52-yard line. So it'll be a first down for the Bulls.
Yeah, again, they just swung, they just brought a receiver from the other side of the formation over, and they gave him the little swing passes. And I mean, it seems both teams are spending a lot of time on these sideways passes. I have a feeling, the wind is playing a part in their downfield passing game.
Wind is a major factor here today in Toronto, as it is quite gusty out there. And we've got a whistle on the play as the Brebeuf College Bulls were looking to run the ball up the gut. Well, we have a break in the action. Dan, the preempted shows on CIUT Radio 89.5 FM include the Cool Side of the Pillow and the Saints Blameless Hour, as they've been preempted to showcase the Football Toronto Senior Bowl Championship here today, as well as the 905 Bowl. That will be played at 2:30, kickoff at 2:30 this afternoon. So should be
very
quite
much
exciting.
Appreciate the fact they're letting us broadcast this game, and I know the players are excited to be on the radio and on TV right now and on YouTube. And like I said, we have a wonderful day out here for football, high school football, and we have lots of fans in the stands, and it's going to be an exciting day of football.
So the Brebeuf team and Northern Red Knights conferring with the coaching staff before they come back. And Dan, lots of action here today. As we mentioned, we've got the 905 Bowl coming up at with a 2:30 kickoff later this afternoon. So should be quite exciting here.
Yeah, Northern called the timeout there. The defensive coordinator, Tom Grettis, I think he has some issues with the way they've been covering those swing passes because, like I said, neither team has really showed the ability to go downfield so far. And there's another swing, and there it is again, another swing pass.
And this one goes to Miguel Sanchez, and as mentioned earlier, he's a big part of the offense for the Brebeuf Wolves.
Yeah, you can, as I said before, you can only do this so long, right? You can, you can get away with these going sideways, but what ends up happening is that, you better have some sort of a plan to go downfield. Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble or even have a pickoff that's going to cost you 6 points when teams start creeping up and they start playing man because they know they're seeing nothing but screen passes and dump offs to the running backs.
Well, that brings up a second down situation for the Brebeuf Bulls. They're playing the Toronto District Catholic School League. Shotgun. They hand off. This is number 3, Adelela Anawoshi. And he gets some good yardage out of that, Dan. As a matter of fact, that's a first down for the Brebeuf Bulls.
Anafawoshi was able to get the corner that time, and he used his speed. And as I said, I think this is the type of thing Brebeuf has to do. And we have a flag on the play. We'll have to see what it is. It could be a holding.
That's always a concern when we see a flag going up in the air like that. And the veteran referee, Henry Chu, it's actually a treat to have Henry here today, as he does an awful lot of high-profile games, and that includes some CFL games that he's been a part of as well.
Interesting. We had the same thing happen again. So, again, they have a penalty, but it was after the first down, so they're going to retain possession, and it's going to be first down, but basically from the same spot they started at.
So, Brebeuf Bulls right at center. Got receivers wide on the play, and Dallas Nitzis in shotgun. They hand off. And, wow, this is Miguel Collado, and he's shut down behind the line of scrimmage. Northern Red Knights defense making it happen.
Well, Sean Harding, again, they tried exactly the same play, only they ran it to the left side of the formation, and like I said, Sean Harding just made a great tackle. You can fool them once or twice, but you can't keep going and doing the same thing. And I think, as I said, somewhere along the line, they're going to have to be able to throw the ball downfield. I think both defenses have done a very good job right now with handling the short game.
So it's 2nd and 14 for Brebeuf Bulls. And for those of you who are watching around the world, the Brebeuf Bulls are in black. Northern Red Knights in traditional red. Dallas Nitzis, and that's a high snap. It goes over his head. He's looking to recover on the play, and that's a huge loss for the Brebeuf Bulls.
Oh, they called the ball down. He never had it. I don't think he ever had it. So as the ball went over his head, he fell on the ball, but I don't think he properly secured it. But the referee immediately blew it down that as soon as he touched it, it was a dead ball.
Wow. Whistle goes to end the first quarter of play with the Brebeuf Bulls leading the Northern Red Knights 1-0. Very tightly contested contest here. Dan, what are your thoughts on the first quarter?
Well, interestingly enough, right, that play is really important because it ended the quarter. Now they're going to have to kick into the wind. Northern's going to have really good field position right here, and we'll see what they get to do now that they have field position. Because certainly I think, like you said, the strength of the wind has had an impact on the passing game so far, and we can see the wind is blowing from the north to the south end, so Northern's going to have the win for this quarter, and we'll see if they can put some points up on the board.
So it's 3rd and line for Brebeuf Bulls, now measuring the wind not just from the flags on the field, but also the yard markers and the U of T University of Toronto Varsity Blues players who are handling the sticks here today on the sidelines. The return by the Northern Red Knights, they bring it out just over center, so it will be 1st and 10 for the Red Knights.
Nice job that time by Will Collado. And you could see that was one of the problem, right? The kick went nice and high, but it was almost being carried back by the wind, and the returner, Collado, did a nice job. But we've got another flag on the play here.
Here's Henry Chu on the call. And unsportsmanlike call. It's going to go against Brebeuf Bulls.
No, it's going to go against, that was against Northern.
Or against Northern, pardon me, yeah.
No, yeah, remember, we just switched, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So the Northern Red Knights will have the ball. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Riley Chalmers at the helm. A lot of motion in the backfield, and the Red Knights are looking to navigate their way around a couple of defenses. This is Miguel Collado again, and he brings it out to the 50-yard line. But again, Dan, we see another flag.
I think it's probably going to be holding. They tried sort of like a slot reverse on there where, they put the motion going to the right and they came back. But definitely it's going to be holding against Northern.
This game brought to you by the Toronto Argonauts as they look to take on the Montreal Alouettes tomorrow. Or is it Sunday, Dan? Sorry, I got mixed up with the schedule. But they're playing this weekend against the Montreal Alouettes in the CFL Eastern Conference Final. Winner will move on to the Grey Cup in Vancouver.
Yeah, it's going to be the grudge match from last year. See if Argos can beat their nemesis right now.
Always a hot ticket, that's for sure. And here come the Northern Red Knights. First and long, Riley Chalmers looking to go to the air, and the pass is caught. Noah McKenzie on the play, and he gets brought down in a solo tackle near center.
Well, they just cleared out with the wide receiver, and they brought the number 2 receiver underneath on a little out, and he was able to avoid the tackle, and picked up a big gain. So he picked up almost 17 yards on first down.
They move the sticks quickly. It's a 2nd down and 3 situation for the Northern Red Knights. They're going to the air again. Miguel Collado again on the play, and he makes the catch. That's a first down as the ball is brought to the Brebeuf 50.
So, right now, Brebeuf is trying so hard to take away the long passing game, and they're forcing Northern to throw underneath. And like I said, it's a really good strategy, as I mentioned before, in high school, because it's just so hard to go 5, 10 yards down the field at a time in high school without making some sort of mistake or penalty.
Shotgun rolling out of the pocket. Here's Riley Chalmers, and this is a pass. Beautiful catch, Miguel Collado, and he got leveled. He's taken out of bounds on the play, and Collado slowly getting up. That was a beautiful catch by Miguel Collado from Riley Chalmers.
Well, this was exactly the same pattern that he ran when they were on our side of the field here where we dropped the ball. He ran sort of the out and up, wide open. There was nobody there, but he did take a licking that time, and it looks as though he's up, and hopefully he's okay.
He took a licking, but keeps on ticking.
That old Timex commercial.
Exactly, yes. The ball's placed at the 23-yard line of the Brebeuf Bulls.
Of course, we're dating ourselves again there, so.
Got no problem with that. It's all based on history and tradition here. And they hand off. This is Lucas Pretek, and he able to get it into the red zone. So Northern Red Knights offense with a first down.
No, that was a great gain again, and like I said, I think Lucas is going to be effective, but as long as they just can't overuse him.
And we got whistles all over the place. Officials rule the play dead. Northern was in shotgun.
Well, we've seen here now with the win, Northern's been able to move the ball down the field, and like I said, this is it was really important, I think, that the Northern defense was to hold the Brebeuf to just the single point in the first quarter.
Riley Chalmers looking to go to the corner. Beautiful pass, and it was intended for Noah McKenzie. Defensive back on the play for the Brebeuf Bulls tied him up like a pretzel. No pass interference call was made.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. He was grabbed, and you could see Noah was looking around going, where's the penalty call, right? But clearly the referee let it go. Maybe he felt the pass was not catchable.
Here come the Northern Red Knights. They're in the red zone. Ball placed on the 13-yard line. Riley Chalmers. Strong game management here in the first half of play. The fake on the handoff, and they're going to go with the screen pass. This one again to Noah McKenzie. And Brebeuf Bulls defense steps up big time on the play, and McKenzie goes down.
Yeah, that was really well covered that time by Brebeuf. Again, we said, throwing sideways. I'm not sure they can make a living throwing sideways the entire game. I think they have to start throwing downfield, and Noah's still down right now.
Cairo Bryden Tucker, the the right tackle, the defensive tackle on the play, 6'2", 300 pounds. They got some big boys in that lineup for Brebeuf.
Yeah, and Noah is certainly one of the receivers they can ill afford to lose here. Hopefully it is not too... Well, there he is. He's back up, and maybe he just got winded. Hopefully that's all it was.
Dan, looking at some of the sponsors, including the Toronto Argonauts, who present this Football Toronto Senior Bowl game, Area 51 Sports, NFL Canada, York University, the University of Toronto, the Royal Canadian Legion, and the Canadian Armed Forces.
I think they're going to go for it here, and I think that's not a bad idea, because even if they don't make a first down, they're betting that their offense is not going to be able to move the ball against the wind, and they'll still have great field position. So it appears they're going to go on first down. We're certainly going to try to draw them offside to see if they can get a few yards.
And he's got 4 receivers coming off the line. Here's Riley Chalmers. He's looking to the end zone again, and this one almost picked off. It was intended for Dash Spenceley, the 6', 175-pound receiver.
Well, he tried to roll out, and I think he was expecting the receiver to run a deep corner into the end zone, and it looks as though he sort of stopped up, and Riley threw the deep corner, and very well covered by Brebeuf that time. But as I said, I don't disagree with the call, because now we're going to have to see if Brebeuf can move the ball here into the wind, and if they can't move it, Northern's going to have great field position once again.
Certainly Dash Spenceley has the right position at wide receiver. He could even play running back just based on name.
Well, this is one of the spots where they're going to have to move the ball along the ground. And can they do it when Northern knows they're going to have to move the ball on the ground?
So here's the Brebeuf Bulls with the ball on the 13-yard line. Dallas Nitzis. And they hand off. They're going to go off tackle left on the play. Northern defense looking to shut down on the gap. In on the tackle was number 26, Sean Harding.
Now, excellent job that time. So Sanchez picks up, it looks like about almost 8 yards. And this is exactly what they have to do. They have to take advantage of their big bodies they have along the line. And even if it means they have to continually grind it out, this is what I think the strength of the Brebeuf team is.
Dallas Nitzis. Very familiar guy in the hallways at Brebeuf. High fives everywhere as he's at the helm right now. He's in shotgun. And again, they're going to go to the run, but Northern defense picked up on that very quickly and shut down the run right at the 20-yard line.
Interesting. They're going to be probably 3rd and 1, and this is going to leave a big decision here for the coaching staff for Brebeuf. Do they take the chance of going for it on 3rd and 1, or do they punt the ball into the wind? Frankly, I think they're probably going to go for it.
That defensive front 4 for the Northern Red Knights, Dan, we always talk about size with the Lions for Northern, but this is a big front 4.
Well, and as I said, you got a quarterback that's 230, you just have to get, your center's 300 pounds. You just have to drive it up the middle.
And that's what they're looking to do. He came off tackle on the play. And Northern reacted very quickly.
Yeah, they sort of stuffed up the hole, but I think he bounced outside, and I think he might have just got enough for the first down, and yes, he did.
So the ball placed at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, that was a really good job by Dallas that time, because they certainly had the hole stuffed up, but he was able to bounce it outside and just, sort of wiggle enough for that first down.
High school football at its best, right here on YouTube, simulcast on CIUT Radio 89.5 FM. Here's Dallas Nitzis up behind the center, and they reverse on the play. And nice tackle on the play, but we saw a beautiful play as Aaron McNish in on the reverse, but great defensive tackle made by the Northern Red Knights to shut it down.
Really nice call, though, on the slot reverse there. They were able to pick up 8 yards, and again, they've done a fantastic job the last 2 series here. They've been able to pick up 8 yards on first down, and it really makes, your call on second down so much easier. Here's the reverse again.
2nd and 2, and not able to make it happen this time around.
I don't know if they've picked up, I don't think they picked up anything. So they're going to be 3rd down and 2 yards. Again, another tough decision here for the coaching staff.
Head coach Tim Hughes are going to have to think about this one, converse with the coaching staff on best move with a third down situation.
But you can see now, the flags on the goalposts are just blowing like crazy. So even if they were to punt the ball, probably not going to be a big change in the field position, even if they don't get it. So, I think it's probably a good decision for them to be going for it here.
And they're going to pitch and go outside on the play. Not
and
sure
he didn't even get close.
Northern Red Knights shut it down. And Northern Red Knights will take over with possession of the ball.
But like I said, you can't criticize the decision, because I think even if they punted the ball into the wind there, they might have gained, maybe 10 more yards. So I think it was a worthwhile try.
5:24 here in the second quarter of play and counting, Dan, and Brebeuf Bulls with the ball on the 32.
Well, it was clearly they felt they just couldn't go back up the middle again, and so they tried to sort of fake the middle and get it to the outside, but Northern really did a good job of shutting that down.
Shotgun, Riley Chalmers, hands off. Northern looking to run it up the gut, and they'll get about 4 or 5 yards on the carry.
Again, it's a decent carry that time by Lucas Pratak again, and now that it looks like they're trying to use tempo here, they're right on the line, and they're calling the play right on the side, on the ball.
Riley Chalmers with the pass, and it's caught just short of the first down. That pass was caught by number 14, Riley McMahon, one of the captains in the lineup.
Nope, I think they gave him the first down, but you're right, it was very close. This is definitely one of the weapons that Northern has. They have the ability to, as I said, to use tempo and to call the plays on the line and try to confuse the defense. And one of the things last week, the referees were allowing the defense to switch when they were on the line. So I think they've talked to the referees and said, hey, when we line up, we want to go, which is their right. And they don't want the defense to be able to switch in people and adjust their defense.
No doubt, both teams have looked at tape of each other's performances coming into this matchup. Riley Chalmers looking for the end zone. This is a high pass, and it's caught. What a catch!
That pass really wasn't there. It was actually covered very well. But as you said, what a great grab that time.
Will Seaver comes up with the touchdown on a beautiful pass by Riley Chalmers.
It was just basically a jump ball, and he out-jumped and just won. It's easy to say, one of those cliches, but he just wanted it more, right? He high-pointed the ball and was able to make a fantastic catch.
That was a 42-inch vertical. Unbelievable, as Will Seaver goes up in the air to make that catch, and that was into, it looked like double coverage, Dan.
Well, as I said, Brebeuf had covered it very well. I mean, and they're making it difficult to throw long passes because they're immediately, they're going into cover twos and cover fours where they're dropping off, and they're basically daring you to throw underneath. But that time, it was just a fantastic catch.
Northern Red Knights are going to talk it over as they get set up for the convert.
Well, you know what? They may be saying to themselves, they may be going for the two-pointer here to put themselves 7 points ahead.
Very exciting day here at Varsity Stadium. We saw results of the earlier game with the Western Tech Colts defeating Northern Red Knights junior team for the TDS SAA Championship, and they'll move on to play next week at St. Michael's College School in Toronto for the Junior Bowl Championship. Brought to you by Football Toronto.
Yeah, Western Tech took advantage in the junior game, took advantage of special teams, and they had a big long punt return, and they really did a great job in the first half to subdue Northern.
Riley Chalmers looking for the two-point convert, and it was tipped and it was caught.
Oh my heavens. That went off the receiver's hands at the goal line and right into the hands of the Northern receiver who completed the two-point play.
Dash Spenceley comes up with the tip and the touchdown, or the convert. It's a two-point conversion. So it's now 8-1 in favor of the Northern Red Knights over the Brebeuf College Bulls with 3:55 left here in the second quarter of play.
And as I said, Northern was able to take advantage of the win there, and even though, they tried it on third down and didn't score, they were able to get the ball back in relatively good field position, and they had a couple of big plays made there, and they've got the lead.
Wow, what a chronicle of plays, Dan, to make that happen. Going up in the air to make the catch, and then coming off a tip for a 2-point conversion.
Well, they certainly have taken advantage of having the win now, and again, we'll see. Even if they can't score right now, Brebeuf, they've got 3:55. They have to really make sure that they can get a drive going, so at least Northern doesn't get another chance back, with the win to score before the halftime again.
Here's Johnny Musson. 6 feet 8 inches tall, of pure love behind that ball as he's about to kick off.
With this wind, he can really hammer this if he gets a hold of it.
And that's exactly what happened. This ball is going to bounce into the end zone, and here's the return for the Brebeuf Bulls as they bring it out to the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Brebeuf deep in their zone.
Well, you can see the leg he has there. I mean, he really didn't hit the ball very well, yet he still knocked it almost down to the goal line. And now, again, Brebeuf is in a deep hole going into the wind. They have to somehow find, even if they don't score, they have to get a couple of first downs here to take enough time off the clock so that Northern can't go down, because there's a huge difference between 8-1 or 15-1 if they get the ball back again.
And the big question is Johnny Musson bionic?
Well, even though it was early in the season, and even though it was the first game really for both teams, of the regular season, players do have memories, and if Northern was able to get ahead, and in the second half they were able to put it to them. So, Brebeuf is not the type of team that I've seen, especially when I've watched video, that they're not a quick scoring type of team. They're not really a come from behind team. They're a team that has to grind you down and has to try to stay in front.
Well, here's the kick for the Northern Red Knights. Johnny Musson. And this one's big. It's end over end, and it'll go to the 10-yard line. That's a good kick. And the return for Brebeuf, very respectable return at that, and brings it out over the 40-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Brebeuf College Bulls.
Well, huge penalty that time for Northern, because now, instead of, they've picked up almost 25 yards from where they would have been. I mean, and that's 25 yards, like I said, into the wind, which would have been, really difficult to make. So now, at least with 3:41, they have decent field position, and as I said, they need to find a way to get a couple of first downs here.
So 8-1 for the Northern Red Knights as they lead the Brebeuf College Bulls with just over 3 minutes and counting here in the first half. Very exciting day here in downtown Toronto at Varsity Stadium as we're watching the Football Toronto Senior Bowl Championship. Brebeuf with the ball on the 43. Dallas Nitsis in shotgun. Coming off the line, looks left, goes right, short pass. And this is McNish with the ball. And no, he goes down. This is actually Kalen Kennedy.
This is exactly the same play they ran before, where they faked the little swing pass out and then through the backdoor screen to the back coming out of the backfield, and a big gain that time for Brebeuf. A really good call again.
Miguel Sanchez was identified as the receiver on the play, and they bring it down to the 30-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulls.
Well, like I said, Sanchez is the tailback. They fake it out to they fake the swing out, and then, like I said, Miguel just sneaks out of the backfield, gets and he was almost tackled at the point of the pass, where he caught it, but he was able to wiggle free and picked up a big gain.
High snap. They're going to run this one right up the gut. This is Anafawoshi. And he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. That's a beautiful tackle by number 55, Ethan Kay.
Yeah, well, the play was strung out, and he tried to go the opposite way, but he was brought down almost right at the point of the line of scrimmage, and so they didn't really pick up anything on that gain.
No, the Red Knights defense, I don't think they receive a whole lot of credit. They're playing outstanding football here in the first half.
Well, like I said, the problem is that Brebeuf hasn't really shown the ability to throw the ball downfield, and all of a sudden now you're bringing people closer to the line. You're just making it tougher and tougher for them to go sideways or up the middle.
Dallas Nitzis. Low snap, looking to go long distance, and he's being chased out of the pocket. Good reaction by Northern linebackers on the play, who sat on the play, waited for a reaction of the quarterback.
And again, as I said, I mean, it's tough for a team like Brebeuf who don't throw the ball well down the field on second and long. Like when they can pick up their 5-6 yards on first down, that really sets up well for them, because then they can either run the ball or they can use those little swing passes to be effective. But when they're when they're second and long, it's tough for them to make up that distance and make up that yardage, and it looks as though they're going to try a field goal here on third down.
Sean Harding made the tackle for the Northern Red Knights, but he felt it, especially in the shoulder. Holding is Dallas Nitzis on this field goal attempt. There's the kick. And it's good.
Well, that was really important for Brebeuf. They made the big play there on, as I said, on the double screen, and that gave them 3 points. Now, however, Northern still has 1:50 left with the win, and we'll see if they can put some points on the board as well. But really good drive that time for Brebeuf to pick up some points.
Yarrow Bryden Tucker on the field goal attempt, and that'll bring the score now at 8-4 in favor of the Northern Red Knights with just over a minute left before the half. Again, it's been pretty exciting here at Varsity Stadium. We've seen a lot of great football over the past little while leading up to this championship, starting back in September.
It's been a really good football season. There's a lot of great athletes out there, and everybody's looking forward to see the big Metro Bowl game coming up next week.
The 39th Metro Bowl, as Lucas Pratek, he'll take it off tackle for about 4 yards on the carry. And Dan, that's the 39th Metro Bowl, and we've seen a long history of the Metro Bowl and watched it play out. You've been a part of many, many Metro Bowls. Well,
I was there for the very first one many years ago, but so it's going to be really exciting to see it come back again this year. Not a good pass choice that time. Noah McKenzie was almost double teamed right there, and so good job by the Brebeuf defense. But we have a flag down on the far side of the field. Offside against Northern. I'm sure they're just going to decline the penalty. They're going to be forced to punt the ball. Dan, Noah McKenzie favoring the right leg. Well, remember, he went down in a heap down near the goal line there and had to go off the field, so it's good to see him back out there again, but I'm sure, he's still feeling that injury a little bit. And the ball is at the Northern 38. Well, you know what? Brebeuf did what they had to. They scored points going into the win, and they've stopped Northern here. They're going to get the ball back, and they should look like they should be able to run out this clock. But here's the kick. Johnny Musson with the kick, and this is a high spiral. Another good kick. It'll bounce at about the 35. Brebeuf looking to pick up the ball, and they'll go straight forward with it. And gang tackled on the play. Again, number 26 for Northern, Sean Harding in on the play, and he's been in on a number of tackles here in the first half. Well, I think, as I said before, Brebeuf has got to find a way just to run out the clock here, and clearly the teams really need to make hay when they have the win, so it's going to be important to see who gets the win in the fourth quarter after we come back after the break. And the first 5 minutes of the second half are always telling moments, Dan. Well, again, who can move the ball against the win, even if you don't score, even if you can just take time off the clock and then, like I said, be able to take advantage of the win you have. And it's not even making big plays. It's being able to use the kicking game to your advantage because you have the wind and gaining field position. Ball on the 39, Dallas Nitzis looking to go to the air, and this pass
was just not going to happen. It was intended for number 20, Miguel Sanchez, on the play.
Well, you've got to be really careful. Like I said, they're not really throwing the ball down the field. They're just going sideways. There's going to become a point where, if that ball almost got away, where you're going to turn that pass into a 6-point pick going the other way. And, like I said, they didn't, really right now they needed to take time off the clock. If Northern can stop them here, they're still going to have a lot of time. I mean, I think they should have probably tried to run the ball, which is their strength, twice, and at least work the clock to well under 1 minute.
No doubt they're going to be talking about that at halftime. Dallas Nitzis looking to go to the air again, and this one was just over the outstretched arms of number 80, Aaron McNish, the wide receiver.
Well, and I don't want to sound like a broken record here, saying the same thing over and over again, but he threw that ball into the wind, and it was a very good pass. And they took approximately 10 seconds off the clock, on those 2 downs, 2 incomplete passes. So they basically are now going to punt the ball back to Northern, and they're going to have a lot of time here left to try and score some points.
So the ball is on the 38. Correction, the 39 of Brebeuf. The punt team is out on the field.
And Northern looks like they're setting up to try to block the ball here.
Here's the kick. And this one will go out to about the 40-yard line. The return by Miguel Collado.
Oh, they've got the return set if he gets to the edge here.
And he did get to the edge, and he continues to move forward. Brebeuf shuts him down just over the 50-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Northern Red Knights with just over a minute left here in the first half.
And this is what I'm trying to talk about. Look at where they have the ball now. Well, for example, they've taken advantage of the wind, and so now they've basically got the ball in deep, no, I should say, at least they have the ball now in Brebeuf's side of the field. They still have plenty of time, and I think they still might even have a timeout left to move the ball. And even if they get a field goal here, these are points that maybe could have been avoided from Brebeuf if they just better time managed their possession.
Northern, 1st and 10. Here's Riley Chalmers. He's got Lucas Pratek in the backfield, fake on the handoff. He's rolling out into the pocket. There's a long-distance pass into double coverage, and it's picked off. This is Kamani Bowen, the defensive back, and he comes up with the interception and is driven out of bounds on the play at about the 28-yard line. Nice pick by the Brebeuf Bulls.
Yeah, great pick, but I think that was a really ill-advised pass. He had a man standing open in the flat. He probably could have about 20 or 30 yards. And in fact, they did the same thing last week, Northern, against when they were last week against Western Tech. They had chance to put points on the field, on the board in the first half, and they threw an interception. They threw a pick, right in the last minute. If they had thrown that swing pass out there or to the underneath man, he probably would have picked up a first down. They would have at least been in field goal position. Good job by Brebeuf, to take control of the ball right now. And again, they just have 49 seconds to kill.
So 1st and 10, the ball at the 31. Here's Brebeuf. They're in shotgun. And looking to get the ball outside.
Oh.
And the pass is caught. The officials rule that is a legitimate catch. That's number 53, Shaka Hartley, the wide receiver on the play, and he was able to hold on to it. Good catch by Shaka Hartley.
That was a heck of a grab, but it was also pretty dangerous, right? I mean, the Northern player was very close. Now, again, I don't know if they're thinking about trying to score here. Is that their plan? Or, like I said, do they just want to, sort of ground the time out here? But that was a very dangerous pass, but it was a heck of a grab, though. Got to give him.
He's a rookie in the lineup for the Brebeuf Bulls. And they've got the ball on the 41-yard line. 43 seconds left, and Dan, this is the time when you've got to really clamp down defensively. You don't want to be going into the dressing room if you're the Northern Red Knights and allow for a touchdown.
Well, again, I think Brebeuf's playing with fire a little bit here with the passes they're making. I mean, the last 2 or 3 could have easily been intercepted. I mean, if the pass was just a little bit more underthrown, but they got away with it there with a fantastic catch. But they've got a long way to go, and I think they would probably be pretty happy to get out of this half with the score 8-4.
Here come the Brebeuf Bulls. It's a big offensive line for Dallas Nitzes. High snap, and they're going to run this one up the gut. That's Miguel Sanchez again, taking it out to about the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 4 on the play. Northern Red Knights reacting very quickly on the ball being run up the gut like that.
Yeah, and Miguel Sanchez is down on one knee. I mean, he's their prime running back. And certainly the trainers are going to have to come out here. Hopefully it's nothing serious because, like I said, he's such an important part of their offense.
And the trainer is going to take a look at him. Certainly like to congratulate and thank the University of Toronto and Varsity Stadium Facilities Manager Chris Dickens for helping us make things happen here on a yearly basis with the high school championships at the University of Toronto. He does a great job, and we can't thank him enough. 38 seconds left, Dan, here in the first half.
You know, again, with the wind as strong as it is, and as I said, the big leg that the Northern kicker has, this is an important play. You know, the injury stopped the clock.
Here's Dallas Nitzes. He's got 3 receivers coming off the line. They go with the outside pass. This is Aaron McNish, and minimal gain on the play. As a matter of fact, there could be a loss on the play.
You know, again, it's such a dangerous pass to throw. I mean, you're going sideways. You're not getting any yardage, and clearly the Northern defense has sort of figured this out right now. And all you're doing is introducing danger by either a tip pass or a bobbled pass, and clearly they're going to have to punt the ball. At least they completed it so that, the clock will run. But it was, I think they probably would have been a better job just running the ball a couple of times up the middle, taking as much time as they could off the clock and trying to give Northern, the least advantageous field position that they're going to get.
Northern was one running back on this punt attempt, and we've got an offside call coming up against the Northern Red Knights. A little jumpy on the line.
Yeah, that was unneeded. I think they're still going to leave them short, but they might. You never know. Brebeuf may decide to go for it on 3rd down here.
So Brebeuf keep the punt team out on the field. It's a 3rd down situation for the Bulls.
Yeah.
And the kicker is Javier Simpson, and Simpson is looking to wind up and unleash with a punt.
Well, it was certainly unnecessary because they've got an onside man, and they just brought the onside man across the formation, and that seemed to throw off the Northern defender who just jumped the gun there.
Here's Simpson with the kick, and this one's a quick kick at that. It bounces at the 40. Here's the return by Miguel Collado, and he escapes around one defender and gang tackled and taken out at the 48-yard line. So 4 seconds left for the Northern Red Knights to get possibly one play before they go to the half.
Well, Brebeuf at least did their job that time. They took enough time off the clock to really leave Northern with very little time here. I mean, they can throw a Hail Mary up into the end zone and hope for. But even the Hail Mary from high school quarterbacks typically don't have 70-yard arms. So.
No. But you never know.
You never know. You say there's a chance, So.
There is a chance. So the ball played at the 47-yard line of the Northern Red Knights. 4 seconds left here. Here's Riley Chalmers. Last play of the half, and he escapes a couple of tackles. He's going to go down. He's going to take it safe down, and that'll wrap up the half. Your thoughts on that first half of play of this Football Toronto Senior Bowl Championship?
Well, it's clearly a closely contested contest. The defenses have been primarily dominant. Northern has got to find a way to sort of move the ball against the wind. They weren't very successful against that, and Brebeuf has got to start. Brebeuf has got to be going downfield. They've got to either establish their run game or start. If they're going to throw the ball, they've got to throw it downfield. I think they're going to get nothing but trouble if they continually try to go sideways here.
So we're going to take a break at the half here from Varsity Stadium of this Football Toronto Senior Bowl Championship, brought to you by YouTube and simulcast on CIUT Radio 89.5 FM. We'll be back in a few minutes.
This is really loud for me. Can I get this turned down? Is it right there? Oh, okay.
Test.
This year, though, I know that.
Test. Test.
Was that it? No, it's okay. Okay, there's three of us. We're always there. All right.
Test, test. Test, test. 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 Test.
Yeah. 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 Where is it? You want to switch? I know, right? I love the sport. And then it's not correct. Also, they're not good. Everyone's always right. Then I think and then they saw for the list of goes, oh, that's how it is. No, that's loud. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's where your graphics guy gets a lot of time. But it's, yeah, we'll get through this and then we'll move in. He's still recording.
And welcome back to Varsity Stadium as we get set for the second half of action with the Football Toronto Senior Bowl Championship here from Varsity Stadium. And joining us in the broadcast is Darrell Adams, head coach of the University of Toronto Varsity Blues. Darrell, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. And certainly we've got lots to talk about between these two squads with... going to bring my mic over here so that we can get you in on this broadcast as well, Darrell. Sure. And certainly we've got lots to talk about in that first half.
Most definitely. Highly competitive game. Guys are operating at high levels. You're on two things at once. You have to talk
Yep.
this way.
And we can talk right here and use that mic.
Yes, as I was saying, very highly competitive game, championship, lots of nerves from you guys. excited to see what the second half holds.
And certainly, Dan, your analysis of that first half, you thought that Riley Chalmers took a chance with that pass into the end zone and it got picked off.
Well, I just thought, like right now it looks like a ball control type of game. They're not scoring a lot of points. They're having a lot of trouble moving the ball against the wind. And anytime you can get some points in a game like this, I think you need to take them. And I think, he had people short in the flat or even intermediate pass. He just sort of threw that last ball up there hoping, even with the touchdown, it was only because the receiver high pointed that ball and made a great catch. I think they need to take more advantage of the chances they have.
Certainly, this broadcast brought to you by the Toronto Argonauts as they present the Senior Bowl Championship as well as the upcoming game at 2:30, the 905 Bowl that will see Brampton St. Roch taking on Oshawa Paul Dwyer in that championship, and the winners of these two games advance to the 39th Metro Bowl next week. And here's the kick, the return for the Brebeuf Bulls as they bring it out to just over the 25-yard line. They'll get it out over the 30. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulls. And Darrell, the first 5 minutes of the second half are always telling moments in any football game.
For sure. Anxious to see what adjustments the coaches made to try to get some points on the board for Brebeuf and try to get back in this game. So I'm excited to see how the guys execute their assignments.
And also looking too about the recruiting practice here, Darrell, that you've got a great opportunity to see both squads who could be eventually varsity Blues football players.
Most definitely. I've seen Northern a couple times. First time seeing Brebeuf. Excited to see what the second half holds. Lots of talent on the field. Hope these guys have the marks to get into our school.
Well, and even our kickoff there, Johnny Musson, I know he was able, that was into the wind. He put it almost down to the goal line. He has a spectacular leg. Not the most consistent guy in the world, but certainly has a lot of room to improve and could kick at the university level, I think.
A 6'8" kicker. Wouldn't you love to see that in the varsity Blues lineup?
Most definitely. He's got a very strong leg. Obviously some things to improve on from a technical standpoint, but that's what coaching's about. Looking forward to getting to know this kid personally.
I mean, that play right there, that was lucky. I'm not even sure he got his pass past the goal line. I mean, and I know high school rules are a little different from the pro rules, but again, Northern looks as though they're going to have the wind here in the fourth quarter, so that's really important for Brebeuf to be able to move the ball here.
And the ball placed at the 34-yard line of the Bulls. Yeah, big first year for you, Darrell, as head coach of the University of Toronto Varsity Blues. Your thoughts on the first year?
For me, it was all about discovery. I call it year zero, to be honest. Lots to learn here, first and foremost. What I inherited from a program standpoint, the academics, the tradition, the history, the vibe of the city, the team I inherited. So for me, it was all about figuring out what things I could build off of, what's in place, what I can fix, and now I have a great idea of what to do moving forward. Excited what the future holds.
And outstanding victory, that first victory against the University of Waterloo. Boy, that's called retribution after you were a coach at the University of Waterloo last year.
Yes, that was very special. That place was great to me over the last 8 years. I attribute my success to everything I learned from head coach Chris Patoya, my athletic director Rolly Webster. It propelled me to have the confidence to pursue this opportunity. I'm thankful for those guys. But going back there to a place I called home for so long, it was great to win that game.
Here's Miguel Collado just missed on a couple of tackles, and he gets it out to midfield on the return for the Northern Red Knights. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights. Dan, what do you think?
Well, we got a flag on the play here, and again, as I said, I think it's important for Northern to pick up some first downs and try to grind time off the clock here going into the wind. As, like I said, both teams really haven't shown an ability to move the ball that well going against the wind.
Looks like a no yards call against the Brebeuf Bulls, and so the ball will be placed at the Brebeuf 51. 1st and 10 for the Northern Red Knights.
Get on the line. No way.
And they're going to hand this one off to Lucas Pratek, and he'll take it down to the 45-yard line. What do you think, Darrell? A little more acceleration from the running back as he goes through the line like that?
Yeah, for sure. He ran behind his pads there, got what he could despite having a couple missed blocks, but excited to see their conversion rate here.
Well, and they're playing, looks like they're playing a cover two. They've got to be able to run against the line here because they don't have as many men in the box. So, like I said, the problem with the Northern running back is he has a bad ankle. I don't think they can use him on every down.
Here's Riley Chalmers as he's looking to go to the air, and it was intended for Collado. Just over his fingers, and the old cliche, if you can touch it, you can catch it.
Exactly.
But as I said, I think the problem is that you said again, he's throwing right into the teeth of the wind. Riley usually, has a much more commanding throw right, and the ball just seemed to float on him that time.
Darrell, what are you expecting in this down here?
Something quick, hooks, find the open void in the zone, maybe a slant, but as you can see, they went vertical here, trusting Chalmers' arm into the wind.
And
that's got to be an interference, and it was. Okay, I mean, the receiver sort of the defensive back was screening him, so they're going to pick up a first down here.
You call it a scream, it looked more like a body slam. Wow. And the flag on the play.
A little bit of panic there on the part of the defensive back, not trusting his technique. It's a matter of understanding, playing the ball in the air, finding the receiver's hands.
Darrell, do you remember your days when you played high school football?
I talk about it all the time. It's heavy recruiting season now, and as I build relationships with these players, we always talk about my experiences and things that I was going through when I was coming out of high school. And to me, it's the essence of football. I miss my high school days, and I miss playing on the grass. I'm old school, All these turfs have the kids spoiled.
Yeah, it's true. They all want to come and play down at Varsity Stadium here. Lucas Pratek, as the ball goes up the gut, and runs right into that Brebeuf defensive line, Dan.
Good job. Like I said, they've been sort of getting into the pattern of using Lucas on first down, and he has been picking up some yardage. And we have another flag, unfortunately, and it looks like it's going on against Northern.
What are some of the things that you're looking for next season, Darrell, as you are on the recruiting campaign?
First and foremost, growth from within. I've been telling all the guys during our exit meetings that we're going to win with the guys that are here. Yes, we're looking to recruit talented kids and come in to compete, but the guys that are here really need to put some work into the weight room, into the film room. We talked about making this offseason about football 101, really teaching the nuances of the game, how we want to execute our assignment in all three phases, and just having a chance to really get to know these guys, because I inherited this team, didn't recruit any of the guys, so it's a matter of us getting that trust and that connection, building that chemistry and camaraderie over the next 9 months.
Certainly, some of the players here are picking up on that. That's Dash Spenceley, who had the 2-point conversion early in the first half, and he again makes the reception here. And the players are buying into the program.
Most definitely. Have to clearly define the expectations and the standards and understand not just what we're doing, but why we're doing it, making it important both on the field and off the field. The word culture is loosely used. It's something that we embody each and every day. So having the guys really buy in is important to make sure that they stay bought in despite any situation or circumstance.
Dan, you're looking at the Northern Red Knights offense. They're on a roll right now.
Well, they're trying to use time. I said they're trying to use tempo here to their advantage. Like, they've been getting up on the line. They do have the ability to call plays on the line, and they have been moving the pocket as well too for the quarterback, because he hasn't had a lot of time back there to throw the ball. But they've done a really good job so far moving the ball in this particular series.
Will Sievert, as the Northern Red Knights have got the ball on the Brebeuf 3 shotgun, and here's Chalmers. And he's looking for the end zone, and it was thrown out of bounds. You got a flag on the play.
Yeah, Northern's getting a holding penalty again. This time it's going to take them back 10 yards. But, they were moving the ball. They sort of had the pattern of moving the ball in first down with Lucas, and he was picking up 4 or 5 yards. I think they probably would have been a good idea to do it again there.
Now, Darrell, you've got a giant screen right here in front of you, so you get a panoramic view of what's going on and the replays.
Most definitely. I think that Northern should stay committed to the run. They're a pass-first team, obviously with a great, outstanding quarterback who's experienced, which allows them to move the ball at will. But, Brebeuf is playing against the pass, and the run game is there. If you stay committed and not get, comfortable with 4 or 5 yards at a time, they have a chance to really get it in the end zone, which is where they're not finishing well.
4 or 5 receivers coming off the line to go to Lucas Pratek. And
No, he was out of bounds.
We've got a scramble for the ball, and there's been no whistle, and finally the Brebeuf player goes down on the field.
No!
That was Jacob Todd, and not to your satisfaction, Dan.
It looked as though, like, as he was out of bounds. Of course, I'd need to see it again on the replay, but they never blew that whistle dead. He looked like he wanted to. The referee actually looked like he wanted to, but I agree with you, Coach. I mean, they have 5 guys in the box. I mean, they're so committed to stopping the pass now. I think they probably would have done a better job putting it on the ground.
Yeah, unfortunately, the ref was out of position on the play. There's 2 things that should have happened. He could have called the touchdown because it appeared the ball did cross the front of the plane. He also could have called him out of bounds, but unfortunately, he was out of position to make any call and just let the play go. So unfortunate for the Knights, good for the Brebeuf Bulls.
Here's Dallas Nitzes for the Brebeuf Bulls, and again, they're going to go with that pass in the backfield. Dan, is very dangerous play, and they get it out for a couple of yards on the game.
Well, again, that's a backward pass. I mean, that's literally, it's a free ball, right? And I just don't think they can make a living here throwing the ball sideways or backwards. And we've got another flag here again.
A lot of flags here in the second half. Your thoughts on Dallas Nitzes, the quarterback for the Brebeuf Bulls, Darrell?
He's doing his best. He's limited with his options, and some of the play calls are a bit questionable. I think I need to see just some standard hooks, some slants, some catchable balls down the field to Dan's point, get the sticks moving in a positive angle, and get the ball in the playmaker's hands at this point.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, Darrell. I mean, they did complete a couple of really nice short hooks, like you said, when they had the win earlier in the game, and I think they need to go back to that.
Less is more. Sometimes coaches try to do too much.
We've seen that many times over the years. Dallas Nitzes unleashes with the pass, and it went off the helmet of the receiver. I don't think he had his hands on it, just went off his helmet.
But, to Coach's point here, though, that was a good play. He did a little, he did a little stop route there. If he had caught the ball, they would have been very close to the first down, and the ball was catchable. He should have caught it.
Yeah, he jumped for no reason at all. Didn't appear ready to catch the ball. If he catches that clean, drop steps, it's easy first down, move the change. Execution.
Kyle Nadd was the intended receiver on the play. It's a third down situation for the Brebeuf Bulls with 7 yards to go. 8 yards to go. Punt team out on the field.
If I were Northern, I'd come after this kick.
And there is pressure, especially coming from the left side. Here's Miguel Collado on the return for the Northern Red Knights as he looks to get inside. And he was corralled on the play.
Nice job catching the ball in the air, getting what he could, trying to get a first down after the catch. May have drawn a penalty.
Jaheim Simpson in on the tackle for the Brebeuf Bulls.
The game's starting to get a little ragged here. Like, we're getting flags on every play here. It's really taken away from the flow of the game.
That's for sure.
You wonder if the temperature has an effect on the game. It's been a very mild fall, and guys haven't played a lot of cold weather games. The temperature is dropping a little bit, so you wonder if that's getting into guys' heads.
Right. Yeah, the temperature has dropped just in the last couple of hours, and that looked like it was going to be. I think he caught him for grabbing the face mask, so Northern's getting the benefit of those extra 15 yards.
Darrell, do you still keep in touch with all your former Hamilton Tiger Cat teammates?
Several of them, yes. As you know, Joaquin Bradley's on the staff. He's my defensive backs coach, special teams coordinator. Stay in contact with Richie Williams. He's down in Charlotte now doing some stuff with NASCAR. And Ike Brown is doing strength and conditioning with LSU Tigers. So those are the three guys I contact the most, in addition to some of the guys still in Canada. Sandy Beveridge came out to practice one time at training camp, and it's been nice to have guys around,
You can certainly get those guys in on practice, and it really means a lot for their input.
And for the players, they come in and have a chance to learn from the pros, guys that have been there, done that, and have walked the walk. So having guys come in and share their experiences and give back to the game is something I talk about all the time.
Fantastic. Second down situation for the Northern Red Knights. Ball at the 26.
A little empty here.
And Riley Chalmers in shotgun. He looks like he's going to run with 6 receivers coming off the line. Looks to the right, and he's able to get it. This is Lucas Pratek. And Pratek somersaulted at the 5-yard line. Wow.
Good play design here. You empty out the box. You run a little crosser underneath route. He gets lost in the shuffle here.
So here come the Northern Red Knights as they're in the red zone.
Let's see if they can convert here. They're 0 for 3 to this point.
Lucas Pratek runs into a wall, and the Brebeuf Bulls bring him down at the 2-yard line.
And they're trying to take advantage again of going no huddle, right? Getting up on the line, and it's been pretty successful.
Riley Chalmers. Good game management so far for the Northern Red Knights. Looking to go to the end zone with the pass, and no, just beyond the reach of the intended receiver on the play. That's number 14 for the Northern Red Knights, Riley McMahon.
I don't understand why they just didn't run the ball again. They still have advantage in the box, right? I quite understand it. They've been successful every time they've run the ball here, but I mean, they're on the 2-yard line.
Tough angle for the kicker. I definitely wouldn't be kicking a field goal here. Coach calls timeout to draw something up. You're going to put the ball in your playmaker's hands. Expect something quick to Noah McKenzie.
The Red Knights want to talk this one over. Darrell, would you call that timeout as well?
Yeah, most definitely. I want to figure out, best possible play. We need 2 yards. We need a score here to get some separation in this game, get some confidence. Having a high-powered offense getting stopped in the red zone is very frustrating.
I agree for them going as well on this down, but even if they don't make it, again, the Northern defenses seem to has really figured out the offense for Brebeuf, and Brebeuf has been taking these chances with these sideways passes. I mean, I think they're going to just have to run the ball up the middle and probably punt the ball, and Northern's still going to end up with great field position. So, this is a worthwhile gamble as far as I see it.
Quick question for you, Darrell. Are you going to be attending Vanier Cup festivities?
I'll be at the Kufka meetings during the day and the awards dinner at night. Not going to stick around for the game. Have some other recruiting obligations, but excited for a great game nonetheless.
Should be exciting. Great matchup coming up this weekend with Western against Laurier.
They're 1-0 again here.
And Riley Chalmers. And he was looking high for the receiver, and he just could not make that happen. And again, Northern coming up empty in the red zone, Dan.
Well, he had Noah open again, and no McKenzie, and he just overthrew him, or he didn't, whatever the reason, they didn't connect. But like I said, they've got them down in the 2-yard line here. We haven't really seen Brebeuf with any ability to move the ball for any great lengths, and certainly they can't pass the ball down the field. So we're going to be able to see if they can run the ball out of the end zone here, or possibly even just give up the 2 points.
Darrell, great facility that you have here for home games, and no doubt the faithful of the University of Toronto come here for all the home games and to support you in the Varsity Blues. No doubt, a great facility to host Blues games and the high school football championships.
I've been here a number of times as an opponent and as a recruiter over the years, and being here my first year as head coach, it's electric. That first game against Guelph, despite the outcome, the stands were full. There were people outside on the concourse walking the streets, and I can envision this place being packed for years to come. I'm excited to build this program and make this the school in Toronto from a football standpoint.
Certainly look forward to it. Northern Red Knights are holding on tight against the Brebeuf Bulls. Dan, what do you expect as they come out of this huddle?
Well, I mean, I think they're going to run the ball up the middle again, and if they don't get the first down, they're going to give up 2 points. I mean, so we need to see Brebeuf do something really positive on offense here.
Now they're going to run off tackle on the play. This is a Delawela Anafoshi, and he's able to get it out just beyond the 10-yard line.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting call. It looks like they got to have about a 3rd and 1. I mean, do you take the chance here? I mean, given how far he's going to be able to kick the ball, do they either give up the 2 points? I think they'll probably just give it a chance. This could go a long way to determining the outcome of the game, this play right here.
I go hard count, try to jump off sides.
Yeah.
And Dallas Nitz's looking to run this one.
Not
push
a lot
it
of
forward.
movement there.
Great
second
like the
effort.
Play is still going.
Well, as I said, he's 230 pounds. If you're ever going to quarterback sneak, this is the time to do it, right?
Brings it out to the 15-yard line, but never say stop. He just keeps going, keeps the feet going.
The other way you can look at this as a positive for Northern is that, Northern's been able to control the ball down in Brebeuf's end of the field the entire time that the wind, theoretically has been in their face. So even though I think the wind is starting to shift a little bit here as we get into the late parts of the game.
Here's Dallas Nitzis again in shotgun. Motion in the backfield, and they'll hand off. They'll go off tackle on the play. This is Anafoshi, and he's able to bring it out just beyond the 20-yard line before he's forced out of bounds.
This is about the second time Anafoshi has been able to get to the edge, and so last time he was able to pick up almost a first down. So I mean, he seems to be almost their one of their best options right now on first down, certainly.
2nd and 2 for the Bulls. Ball officially placed at the 23-yard line.
Wouldn't mind seeing Brebeuf take a shot here. Keep Northern honest. They've been
And there we are with a shotgun, and they're going to drive this one right up the gut, but the Northern Red Knights spot that one very quickly. In on the play was...
No, I agree with you, Coach. I mean, like I said, the wind I think is starting to change a little bit, but it's still sort of in your favor, and you're just grinding the time out here. So now they're going to go on third down with the quarterback up the middle again and get another first down. But they've got to find a way to move the ball more than just a few yards at a time.
Third down situation for the Bulls.
They need more push than last time. The offensive line got stood up in the hole. Great second effort by the quarterback on the last one.
And they're going to drive it through again.
That's better.
I'm just saying, as a former high school coach for many, many years, it's so tough to move the ball down the field 4 or 5 yards a time at this level without some sort of a stupid penalty or a turnover or, they're kids, that's the problem. I mean, it's rarely, do you see, these type of games are really tough to predict because of that fact with the defenses playing so well.
1st and 10 for the Bulls. Here's Dallas Nitzis. Established identity, and they're going to hand off. Miguel Sanchez again, and he's been huge for the Brebeuf Bulls here in this game.
Well, the last couple of series, they've been able to sort of get to the edge and pick up a decent gain on first down. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to come back this way again with the sweep.
So the ball placed on the 31-yard line. Second down situation for the Bulls.
You got to put it in the air here. You can't risk another 3rd and long.
Second and 5. Bulls, high snap. They get a handoff, and the Red Knights not able to corral the running back as he takes it out to almost the 40-yard line. That's a first down for the Brebeuf Bulls.
Well, nice spin move that time by the running back. I think was that Anafoshi, I think he was that number. Yeah, that was Anafoshi, number 3. He pretty well did that all on his own. It looked like he was stopped almost in the backfield, but he did a great job to spin and get the first down.
And Terrell, you're a defensive guy, but certainly you know the mechanics of offense as well, quite well.
For sure. And being the head coach now, I definitely didn't have any involvement with the defense. I wanted to learn offense and be able to contribute on all 3 phases of the game, but having that defensive understanding allows me to coach the offense and tell them some of the holes and techniques and ways you can attack the defense and be successful. So I'm loving having that ability to do so.
Aaron McNish looking to have a restart or a replay on that one. He had the ball and was not able to hold on to it, Dan.
Well, he was lucky it wasn't picked off. It went off his hands, and the Northern defensive back almost was able to pick it off the turf for an interception. But again, look at a positive for Northern. They've been able to survive this quarter without any points scored against them, and they should have the benefit of, even though the wind, like I said, it looks as though the wind is, as opposed from going from north to south, it looks like it's starting to go a little bit more southeast right now. They still have, I think, the benefit of the wind more than Brebeuf is going to have.
Darrell, we have final thoughts before we able to get going here with this game?
I expect a great 4th quarter. If Brebeuf can find a way to put the ball in the end zone, they're going to put a lot of pressure on Northern because this is Brebeuf's style of football. 3 yards in a cloud of dust, win with your defense, don't make mistakes, make the other team beat you. So Northern's used to scoring lots of points. I'm sure they're very frustrated not being able to convert in the red zone. I want to see how this thing finishes out.
I certainly appreciate you coming on the broadcast and offering your insight as head coach of the University of Toronto Varsity Blues. Darrell, thanks again for appearing with us on the broadcast.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
And Nitzis looking to go to the air, and it was to McNish, but too high for him. And Dan, this 4th quarter will be telling moments for both teams.
Well, it's interesting, just again, being an offensive guy myself, you had the win that entire quarter and you tried to grind it out. The first time you get the ball going against them when you try to throw the ball, I don't get it. He sailed it over the guy's head, so the receiver's head. So like I said, it's so much easier calling a football game from up here in the booth, than on the sidelines, right?
You got that so right.
We're always experts up here. especially after the fact, right?
Here's the kick for the Brebeuf Bulls, and this one goes high.
But
the return by Miguel Collado.
Uh-oh.
And he's looking to go wide around, and that's just not going to work, Dan. The Brebeuf Bulls punt team and the special team came out and shut that one down very quickly.
Well, they had the return, they had the right return here. He was trying to get to the edge, but he had too far to go, and he clearly lost almost 10 yards. I mean, if he had just caught the ball and go straight forward, he would have been up around center field at least another 15, 20 yards. So Northern sort of shot themselves in the foot here, but they do have the ball, they do have the win, they have the lead. They need, if they can put points on the board here, they're going to make it very difficult for Brebeuf to come back.
Here's the Northern Red Knights. Riley Chalmers. And they hand this one off to Lucas Pratek, and he'll take it out for about 2 yards on the carry.
Yeah, great job that time by Brebeuf. And as I said, Brebeuf is putting most of their defensive resources into covering the pass right now. Northern is almost outnumbering them in the box, but they're still able to make, to stop the run game just with their linemen right now. They're doing a great job.
Looking at number 99 and 98 for Brebeuf with Williams and Bigney. And at 6'2", 300, and Cairo Bryden Tucker at 300 pounds as well. That's a lot of love coming at you.
Oh, I'm really surprised there wasn't a penalty right there. I thought it looked as though he was interfered with. In fact, is that a flag on the ground?
It is.
I thought it was interference right there, but we'll have to see what the call is going to be.
Looking at Nick Daniel, the defensive back on the play, and it looked like he hit the receiver from behind. And we've got a Northern Red Knights player down on the field at the moment.
Yeah, that was the receiver. I can't tell if that was Miguel Collado or not, but he took a pretty big hit, and I'm not sure whether it was interference or it was roughing after the play. No, it is pass interference, so it is going to be a first down for Northern.
So looks like they're going to move the sticks. And it will be a first down for the Northern Red Knights on that pass interference call, and we've still got the receiver down on the field. We haven't identified who the receiver is. This broadcast brought to you on YouTube, simulcast on CIUT Radio 89.5 FM, and presented by the Toronto Argonauts, who will be in playoff mode this weekend with an Eastern Conference final game against the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, it is Miguel Collado right there that took the big hit. It will be, though, first down for Northern at the point of the where the interference was called, but it is, like I said, a first down. And, the problem is that even for both teams, both teams really haven't been in close games like this so late in the game. Usually, they're, having successful seasons, they've been usually in front by a lot. Like Northern learned a lot last week, I think, having to play in that overtime game, but it's still difficult that they're finding it so difficult to score points.
So the ball being run up the gut. Lucas Pratek will take the ball up to about the Northern 47. It'll be a second down situation and 5 to go for the Red Knights.
Well, you can see they have this little formula going now. They run Lucas on first down, then they get up on the line, they go no huddle on second down, hoping to pick up, and they do have a man wide open in the backfield. There he is. That looks like that's Lucas Pratek that came out of the backfield and caught the ball. Great job.
Dan, Lucas Pratek becoming more prominent here in the second half.
And as I said, he's coming off this ankle injury, so I'm just, you just wonder how much he can be involved on each and every play.
Here's Chalmers. He's got 5 receivers coming off the line, but the Brebeuf Bulls shut him down. That's a quarterback sack for the Bulls.
Well, and if you take a look at it, all the receivers were covered. A great job that time by the defensive backfield. I mean, I was looking in there, and you could just see there wasn't anybody open. I mean, that was a good job by Riley Chalmers not throwing the ball because there just wasn't anybody to throw the ball to, and right now the last thing they need to do is throw an interception.
Looking at Ibignini at 300 pounds and Bryden Tucker at 300 as well. Like I said, that's half a car coming down on top of you.
Well, and what I'm talking about here is that even if they don't get a first down here, they have the win. They can punt it deep. They can force, Brebeuf, who haven't been able to move the ball that well, to go, a long distance to try to score. and they certainly need more. They need a touchdown. The field goal isn't going to do it.
Lucas Pratek on the reception. He had to dive to make that catch.
Yeah, unfortunately, he picked up a couple of yards when they needed almost 15, so they're certainly going to be punting the ball here. Again, just another good job, but again, these defenses are playing really well, and and you can see the wind now is gusting pretty hard now to the south again.
This ball is going to sail. Johnny Monson is out there right now, and this ball is just going to sail.
Well, as I said, if he connects with this ball, they're going to have a very long field to have to go through here.
Johnny Monson with the kick, and this one's going to bounce, and it goes beyond the returners, almost to the end zone. Here's the return. Escapes a couple of tackles and finally brought down on the play.
Now that was a huge mistake. They should not have let that ball bounce on the ground. They had to catch it in the air. They would have had the ball somewhere up around the 25, maybe even the 30-yard line. Instead now, they're going to be into a deep hole. Now, are they going to move this out to the 20, saying it went into the end zone? I think that's a lucky break, because I think it looked as though he touched it outside and sort of batted it into the end zone himself. I guess they're giving Northern. Are they giving? No, I guess no. He'll be able to get it out, I guess.
So it's an 8-4 ball game here with 8 minutes and counting in this Football Toronto Senior Bowl Championship. Brebeuf Bulls have got the ball on their own 20. Dallas Nitzis. It's been a tough defensive battle between these two squads. High snap. Nitzis looking to go to the air. And that was intended for McNish, and we've got a flag on the play. Dan, I'm not sure that was a pass interference call.
Oh, I think it may be pass interference on the offensive player. He's the one that pushed the player down, so I'd be really surprised if this goes against Northern here, because the receiver, when he saw the ball, was well over his head, basically grabbed the Northern player and threw him down. So I think this is going to go against Brebeuf.
Aaron McNish was the receiver on the play.
Yeah, definitely they're moving backwards, so that was a call against Brebeuf. And as I said, Brebeuf is in a spot of trouble here. They're they're not being able to move the ball, and they're staying on the field. Their defense is staying on the field so long now. There's going to come a point where they just might crack and get a little bit tired here.
So the ball is on their own 5-yard line. Brebeuf with 4 receivers coming up to the line. Here's McNish, and he's looking to go to the right. And again, to Aaron McNish, and it's just not going to happen.
I mean, I guess it's a relatively safe throw, but I mean, the receiver isn't even taking an outside release. I mean, he's just throwing it up there and hoping. In fact, Northern has a better chance of catching. The Northern defensive back right there had a much better chance of catching the ball, Ben Cooper, than the receiver did for the Brebeuf.
And Brebeuf played Northern Red Knights early in the season, lost 28-7 to Northern. And you just wonder if there's any other weapons in the lineup for Brebeuf. Or is it McNish all the time? And it picked up. This is number 33 for Northern, Carter Sparkman, who comes up with the pick. Northern's got the ball.
Now, to be fair, you know what? If they had to punt it into the wind there, Northern might have even had better field position. So this isn't the worst thing that can happen. But as I said, you can see, when you cannot move the ball down the field with passing in Canadian football, you better have a really good running game. And so far, Northern has been able to stop the running game. But, Brebeuf's defense has done just as well. But can they keep on holding off Northern here? That's the problem.
That's a tough chore. Northern has led the league when it comes to offense. And Lucas Pratek going off tackle on the play. He's got a gain of about 2 or 3 yards on the carry.
Well, even here, even if all they do is kick a field goal here and go up 7 points, I mean, just, showing how the inability of Brebeuf to move the ball here, that's going to be a difficult chore for Brebeuf to come back from.
So it'll be a second down situation for the Northern Red Knights. Riley Chalmers up under center. Lucas Pratek will take the ball off tackle, and he'll move right on the play. Good reaction by the Brebeuf defense to bring him down. That's only a gain of about 2 on the play.
Yeah, and here comes Johnny Musson, as I thought. I think they were almost playing for the field goal there, and given how difficult it has been to pass, like I said, I think the wind is really playing havoc with the balls, because you've seen, even with Riley Chalmers, who has a very strong arm, several balls have been sailing on him as well. So
see how this works out. Danny's got the sunshine in his eyes.
yeah.
The sun breaks out here at Varsity Stadium. There's the kick, and it's wide. Johnny Musson missing on a 3-point kick, field goal kick, and it went wide on the play.
Yeah, plenty of distance, but wasn't able to convert. So, again, Brebeuf has sort of escaped. That's 2 times now that Northern's had the ball deep in the defensive zone of Brebeuf, and they've been able to come away with just 1 point. And remember, all it takes is one play here, right? I mean, we've been extolling the virtues of these 2 defenses, but how many times have we seen in this game, all of a sudden, a game get completely flipped on its head just by one player making a play?
We've seen it happen so many times in so many championship games. It's worthy of a book.
Well, the fact of the matter is too, the players out there know what's the stakes that are involved here, and they know that all it takes is one person to slip or screw up, and all of a sudden you're staring a defeat in your.
So Brebeuf hands off the ball, and
fumble.
We've got a fumble on the play, and the Northern Red Knights recover it.
He's calling it down. He's calling it down, which I think is the right call here.
We'll have to take a look at the replay and see if that can happen.
Yeah, we're getting a chance here to see it on the replay.
And that was Anafoshi.
Oh, that was very close. It's hard to tell. I mean, we're not going to be able to get the stop action, like they do in the NFL, but that was very, very close. I mean,
wow.
I think Northern has an argument there.
So Brebeuf has got the ball. It's a first down at their own 50-yard line. There is life in the Brebeuf Bulls. They're down 9-4, 5 minutes left here in the ballgame. Anafoshi going to take it outside. Northern Red Knights looking to shut them down, and a little bit late reacting, and they finally bring them down at the Northern 44. It's a first down for the Brebeuf Bulls.
Well, as I said, Anafoshi's really been the only source of offense they've had. They've been able to get to the edge now 3 or 4 times in the second half, and this has really been their most successful play. They've shown they really can't pass the ball, especially into the wind, and the speed they have to the outside with Anafoshi seems to be the one constant so far that they've had in their offense.
Here's the Brebeuf Bulls at the Northern 44. Time is of the essence. Dallas Nitzis. They hand off again on Anafoshi, and he's able to escape around a couple of tackles, and he's hit. He takes a huge hit from Owen Rollinson, the outside linebacker, on the play.
You know what? You got to give Anafoshi a lot of credit here. He was stopped in the backfield, was able to spin out of it, and gained, picked up a positive gain here of almost 6 yards. I mean, he's literally, as I just said, been the entire Brebeuf offense so far.
And it appears that we've got a Brebeuf player down on the field at the moment.
I'd hate to think it's Anafoshi because, he was there at the point of attack.
It's been a very exciting football game. We've had a few lull moments there, but overall it's been very exciting as we come down the edge.
Well, and look at, as we just said, I mean, it looked as though that Brebeuf was being stopped stone cold. They couldn't move the ball. All of a sudden now we've had a couple of great runs by Anafoshi, and now they're in the northern end. They're threatening to score. And as he said, one score here turns the entire game around. We've got 3:44 left in the game. This is such a big play.
And that's Anafoshi that they help off the field. That's not a good...
That's a huge loss for him. Like I said, he's literally been their offense here in the second half.
3:44 and counting, and Brebeuf Bulls need him back in the lineup.
Well, Miguel Sanchez is going to have to step up, but he doesn't quite have that outside breakaway speed that Anafoshi has. And here's Sanchez with the ball.
He gets around one tackle and looking to get down to the 30-yard line. And Northern looking to drive him back, and they do.
Yeah, but he gets a first down, and he was able to get to the edge. Like, give Brebeuf credit. They've been getting to the edge now this entire series. Northern's got to find a way to shut that down and force them back to the inside.
Looking at a couple of Northern players. That's Owen Rollinson again, as well as Damian Spadafora, the middle linebacker. The linebackers have been very active for the Northern Red Knights.
Well, again, both defenses have been on the field for an awful long period of time. At some point, you just start getting tired.
1st and 10 for the Bulls. They've got the ball on the 30. Handoff. They'll run it right back into a wall of defense. The Red Knight defense shutting it down very quickly.
Yeah, they haven't really had a lot of success trying to run it up the middle. Again, I would expect that Sanchez is probably going to get the ball to the, but hey, I'm not the only one that can see this, right? The defense is probably saying they can't throw the ball, they can't run it up the middle. We're probably going to see a sweep, to probably the wide side to Sanchez right now.
Looking at Jelani Bennett, who was in on the last tackle. He's playing D tackle for the Northern Red Knights at 6'1", 235 pounds.
What a huge play. That was the 3-minute warning, right? You're not going to get a lot more chances. So this is a huge play right now for Brebeuf.
Time is of the essence. The Brebeuf Bulls are threatening. 9-4, Northern Red Knights.
Here comes
and they on the reverse, and this is McNish, and he's going to be pulled down behind the line of scrimmage. That was a great play by Sean Harding to make that happen.
I was watching Sean that entire time because, they threatened sort of the off tackle, and they were hoping for the slot reverse there. They were going to try to give the ball to Sanchez, and just a great job. He was looking for it the entire way. Great play by Sean Harding.
Wow. Big play by Sean Harding to make that happen.
Sometimes, Coach, I'll tell you right now, I did this as many times as when I was coaching as well. But you've just run the ball very successfully around the edge several times, and they haven't been able to stop you. So why in those 2 downs did he not do that again? I don't get it. But like I said, when I'm standing on the sideline, you think you're clever. You think you're gonna, you think you've got a play that's gonna make a difference instead of. Why not just go with what's working, right? Dan,
that's why we love having you in the broadcast booth, because you get emotionally involved, not just on the sidelines, but here in the press box as well. This is high school football at its best.
Well, and as I said, I'm always right when I'm sitting up here, right? Down on the field, that's where you make the stupid mistakes, right? You get caught up in the game, and you've practiced all these plays, and you say, I know this is going to work, instead of just going with what is actually working, right?
The Brebeuf Bulls had another player go to the sidelines, and the trainers are looking.
Well, they've got to be punting here. I can't.
Treating him right now.
No, they're going to go. I'm not sure I would agree with this, but I would.
And they're going to go for it. Dallas Nitzis looking to go long distance.
Not a chance.
And that was intended for Jacob Todd.
Oh, no, he just. Oh, holding against. It's holding against. It's going to be declined. Northern's going to get the ball. I thought maybe it was a roughing the quarterback, but there wasn't a chance that was going to be completed. I mean, Northern had 3 defensive backs sitting back there. I mean, it wasn't like they needed 5 yards. They needed almost, they needed almost 18, 19 yards. I think, the way Canadian football works, 2 minutes is still a lot of time, especially with the ball stopping after every play. They could have punted the ball. Their defense has done a great job. You never know what's going to happen if you force the other team to kick deep in their end zone. Maybe you'll get a big special teams return, but, they've given Northern the ball, and if they can get just even maybe 1 or 2 more first downs, this game is over.
So the ball is placed at the Northern 38, 1:58 and counting here in the 4th quarter. And they're going to pitch.
They've got their reverse. Good call. Get to the outside.
And Miguel Collado on the outside, and he's able to get around a couple of defensive backs, and he brings it out over the 50-yard line of the Brebeuf Bulls. That's a first down for the Northern Red Knights. Dan, I think that's the B12 shot that Northern needs to take this championship.
Well, you know what? That was a really good call. I mean, everybody, Northern has shown so far in almost an entire half that they're going to hand the ball off to Lucas Pretak up the middle on first down, and then try to get a first down, with a short pass on second down. That time they faked it. They did the slot around, and it worked to perfection.
1st and 10 for the Northern Red Knights, and a handoff to Pretak, and he'll run it up the gut. That was a huge gap. You could drive a tractor trailer through that hole. Second down situation for the Northern Red Knights as they go into the Brebeuf zone.
Again, they just, if they can pick up like one more first down, they may be able to almost run out this clock.
Ball placed on the 44. 2nd down and 6 for the Northern Red Knights. Riley Chalmers, that was a high snap, very quick snap at that. They go with the short pass. It was intended for Noah McKenzie on a cross route.
Well, he was doing the under route. In fact, looked like what they call a mesh, where the two receivers cross, and he was open. Riley looked like he sort of dropped down his arm angle and, sort of slung the ball, and he just didn't hit his target. Again, they stopped the clock, so they're going to probably punt, and they're going to give Brebeuf one more time. I think they would have been better just to grind it out. I mean, they could have run twice, right? Even if they didn't punt, if they went for it on third down, but they would have taken a lot of time off the clock. But
that sidearm looked like Lamar Jackson in last night's NFL game with Baltimore.
Absolutely, I was thinking the same thing, but I would say, maybe Lamar has just a little bit more talent, but that's okay. It was a good try. It just needed to be, you needed to complete that pass though.
Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Here's the kick by Johnny Musson, and this one's going to go deep into the Brebeuf zone, and there's a fumble on the play. And Northern's got the ball at the 1-yard line. The Northern's got the ball at the 1-yard line with 1:17 left. We may have to look at the replay on this again, Dan. This was unbelievable.
Yeah, no, what had set it up, of course, it was such a high, big kick, and clearly he muffed it.
That was Caleb Twum-Wiafi, and he's not only a defensive back, but he's a kick returner as well, and he just couldn't corral the ball. The fumble leads to Northern taking the ball at the 1-yard line with 1:17 left here in this Football Toronto Senior Bowl Championship. And Riley Chalmers looking to punch it over. It's a touchdown, Northern Red Knights.
Well, that looks like it's going to seal the win for Northern, but I mean, it took them almost 47 of the 48 minutes to finally be able to, put their mark on the game and seal the win for them. But it was a tremendous battle here, especially a defensive battle, and it took a special teams muff here to really change the whole course of the game.
Here's Johnny Musson, all 6 feet 8 inches tall and 225 pounds, setting up for the convert. And the kick is good.
But you understand why I thought they should have punted back here on 3rd and 19 for that very same reason. You don't know, there's a lot of pressure on a high school returner having to catch the ball when you're probably standing in your end zone, right? I mean, because certainly, he would have been kicking somewhere around the 40, 45-yard line. And like I said, there's a lot of pressure. The receiver knows what the situation is in the game, or the punt returner, just like this punt returner knew. And Johnny Musson hit a great high kick. But if their kicker could have done the same, I think there was a much better chance of them kicking the ball and stopping them rather than trying to go for it on 3rd and 19 or whenever, when they barely were able to put together too many first downs the entire game.
Quick question for you on the crowd that's here. Do you think there's pressure on the players because of the crowd here?
Now, you know what? Once you're in the game, you hear the crowd, but you sort of just get focused on the play, right? Afterwards you go, ooh, or whatever, right? But when the game's on, you get pretty well locked on what's going on, and I think, really, it was such a high, long kick that, it put a lot of pressure on the returner there, and Northern was fortunate to come up with the ball, get the touchdown, and probably seal the victory here.
16-4 in favor of the Northern Red Knights with just over a minute left here in this Football Toronto Senior Bowl Championship. The kick, and here's the return. This is Twim Wayafi as he able to escape around a couple of tackles and gets it out to the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Brebeuf Bulls. So it's just a matter of going through the paces before we solve this dilemma, who's going to take the championship.
Well, as I said at the start of the game, I really didn't think Brebeuf had this quick strike offense. I didn't really think they had the ability to throw the ball down the field. And we saw that, when they realized that passing the ball sideways was doing nothing but get them into trouble, they went to the last thing they had, which was really trying to run the ball around the end. And they were successful a couple of times. But in that last series, when they really needed it, they decided to go away from it. And it certainly appears it cost them. But they just haven't been able to sustain any sort of real offense against this Northern defense. So give credit for the Northern defense to step up when the offense was misfiring.
Their linebackers have been truly outstanding in filling those gaps very quickly. Here's Dallas Nitzis as he's being chased out of the pocket. He's looking for somebody open, and he's not going to get himself. He's brought down on the play, loses his helmet in the process.
Well, the problem with Dallas is that he's great for those 3rd and 1s, right, because of his size. But because of his size, he's not really the most mobile quarterback in the world. So, he has to pick out his receiver and throw the ball because it's going to be hard for him to lumber for a first down the field.
Ethan Kay, the halfback, lost his helmet. But Nitzis chewing up the clock there. Just a couple of seconds lost on the play. So here's Dallas Nitzis. He's seen a lot of action over the course of the season for the Brebeuf Bulls. They've had a remarkable season.
Well, they're going to need a miracle right here. But they have to move the ball down the field.
And that was intended for number 53. And that's Shaka Hartley again. And he couldn't put the big gloves on it this time, not like he did earlier in the game, Dan.
Well, the pass came up a little bit short, and the Northern, of course, is going to be giving them those underneath passes, right? They don't care if they catch, a pass for, 5 to 10 yards. They just don't want to have anything go past them. So they're willing to give it up, and you can see the difficulty into this wind, which is considerable, just getting the ball down the field when you're going into the wind. And that's why I said it was so important for Northern. Even though they didn't score points, they used up the entire quarter with their offensive controlling the ball into the wind.
It was almost picked off. That was Patrick Green, the defensive back on the play. He almost picked it off.
Yeah, really, the offense for Brebeuf has really had no answers here, especially when they've had to move the ball down the field. Like, their only hope was to grind it out and rely on their defense, but, they just made a couple too many mistakes today.
So the ball placed at the 32-yard line of the Brebeuf Bulls, and
well, Northern will have to do basically 2 kneels here, and then the game will be over. Maybe only 1 kneel here by the time they let the ball go before they get it set.
And they're just going to wind down the clock. Certainly a tremendous thank you to all our corporate partners, including the Toronto Argonauts, NFL Canada, Area 51 Sports, Toronto, University of Toronto Varsity Blues football, York Lions football, CIUT Radio 89.5 FM, the Canadian Armed Forces and the Royal Canadian Legion. And I'd also like to take this time to thank the entire football committee for making this happen. It's been an outstanding time, and to Chairman George Gredis,
U of T coach.
And also like to shout out to the head coach, Darrell Adams, as well. They're going to wrap up everything here from Varsity Stadium. Again, the final score, the Northern Red Knights 16, Brebeuf Bulls 4 to win the Football Toronto Senior Bowl Championship. Northern Red Knights will advance to next week's 39th Metro Bowl at York University here in Toronto, and they'll play the winner of Oshawa Paul Dwyer or Brampton St. Roch. We're going to take a break in action and come back at 2:30 for the kickoff to the 905 Bowl here at Varsity Stadium in downtown Toronto. Thank you very much, everybody.
Good job.
Wow.
Jeremy, did you get your food?
It is now time for the post-game presentations. We draw your attention to center field as we welcome Toronto Argonaut Fabian Foot, George Grass, Pat Riley, John Nowinski, and Les Hoff.
Alright, I'll catch you. Over here. Who has the Jackson? Do you have the tripod? Get the tripod for me, please.
I'd like to thank both teams for a very entertaining game. This time I'd like the Brebeuf coach to announce his MVP.
Our MVP of tonight's game was Adele Neferwoche.
Jackson, tripod.
And now the coach from Northern.
The MVP from our team is Sean Hardy.
This time I'd like the captains from Northern to come out, receive the banner and the trophy. From Jason.
Yeah, because someone just dropped. It was like jumping. Yeah, there we go. Now it's there. I think probably I think it was ours. Yeah. I think it's up behind us. So, well, we got Colter.
And
This is all.
Matt Black, our presenter, is
This was so ultra traffic. But, you know, it's not like 9. But it was just the